Good morning. I'm Marley Juergens, and today I am talking to you about one of the myths that I found from this article, Debunking Neuromyths, 8 Common Brain Myths Set Straight. Originally, I wanted to do the myth that our brains shut off while we sleep, partly because I talk in my sleep every night, so I know I am active and my brain is always working. But since Benedict Carey in the book we're reading, How We Learn, chapter 10 is all about sleep, I wanted to do another myth that is actually very close to me, and that's regarding dyslexia. That myth that a common sign of dyslexia is seeing letters backwards. I was diagnosed with dyslexia when I was in 2nd grade, and the teacher noticed that I was trying to catch the words on the page. And being dyslexic myself, I never saw letters backwards, but words and letters would jump around, especially when I was flustered or I had to read a lot of content. Sometimes a lot of times, the bright contrast of the white to the black ink really affected the way I read. So today we're going to talk about dyslexia. There's some additional myths that I saw while I was researching. One of which is that people grow out of dyslexia, and that is not the case. Another one is that people with dyslexia are lazy, and another one is if they have trouble reading, that they're gifted. And finally, there was a myth that primarily it's a visual perceptual issue, like the debunking myth that letters are backwards, but in dyslexia, phonological processing is the main issue. My favorite explanation of dyslexia is really dyslexic students, they learn differently. So their brain can't hold information as efficiently as non-dyslexics, often making their learning slow, difficult, and at times impossible. Both functional neuroimaging and electrophysiological studies have shown that brains of people with dyslexia show patterns of reaction activity when they are performing phonological processing tasks that differ from those that don't. Structural neuroimaging has found that the challenge with helping dyslexia is there are multiple causes that trigger the same reaction, the same challenge of reading, in their reading. A set of studies by Bart Bowitz was shared in an article called Getting Past Dyslexia Myths, How Neuroscience Has Helped. Supports an hypothesis that some researchers have suspected, which is dyslexia stems not from problems with the phonological representations themselves, but with other brain areas being able to access those representations. Diagnosing early and recognizing the signs of dyslexia and providing intervention and support is essential to helping students who are dyslexic succeed and avoid frustration. So how can we help? In the book we've been reading, How We Learn by Benedict Carey, there was a lady named Rhonda Dively who did a study called Percolation. And in that study, she shared, instead of doing tests throughout her semester or her year, to do 6 small readings or writing assignments, and then a big final. And her thoughts are that giving downtime, giving incubation time to think before you're just always crammed with tests. And so that's what she did. And she thought about how you take a big project and you start right away, and then when you're stuck, you stop with confidence. Not that you're quitting, but that you're practicing percolation. You're incubating your thoughts. So you have a better product and you understand what you're learning more. That is part of the reason why I like this class so much, because we have a few days to read and to ponder the assignments that we have. And I'm able to talk to my coworkers about the topics that we are discussing and my assignments. So I appreciate that. In chapter 9 of How We Learn, it talked about perceptual learning. And it's applying all the senses to your learning. and using your vision, your hearing, your smell, your taste, your feel, tactile. Teaching and having a guide like Howard Gardner's Multiple Intelligences, because he has 8, and they're all different ways to learn, and using all of the senses. It's beneficial for all students, but especially those who struggle with dyslexia. The more senses you use, the better. Having a multisensory approach to teaching is beneficial for all, but especially for those with dyslexia. So some examples of that. So having physical activity when you're learning spelling, like if you jump rope and you jump for each letter of a word, or you do hopscotch, or you put letters all over and have the students search for those letters and then create the words. Using music. Music is so catchy and kids love it, and it helps people to learn. Educational games. I create boards in my board games to learn the various subjects that I'm teaching. Another thing that's beneficial for dyslexics is rulers. Using rulers to help you stay on track, and highlighters are beneficial. And technology, using computers, having different color pages to help so that the contrast is not so bright. Another thing I did was I had a black strip, and I just had a little line that was open for one sentence at a time, and that helped me stay focused while I'm reading. So with dyslexia, it's just trying to find the ways that work best to help students to retain what they're learning. So thank you for watching.